And for the second time of asking, we got it right. We did it perfect last time, and guess what? I forgot to hit go live.
All my hard work and timing went to naught.
Good evening, Seb.
Evening, Seb. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, hello, folks. That was not what I wanted to do. Oh, dear me.
Good afternoon, Nick. How's
Anyway,
California?
before we start, if you're watching on, if you haven't voted yet, I know you two have, but you can, if you go to the top of the thing, instead of having the poll there is the link to the where you can vote for the Battle Royale. So it's on the screen as well. We'll take a note of that. It's all over the place. So, and we'll keep putting it up. Dave will keep popping it up in that chat as well. So you can go and vote.
And we can even do things like that.
What's he doing now?
Me? I put it out. I showed it underneath on main screen. There we go.
Yeah. So
Evening, Pulsar.
We'll keep posting up. Yeah, see, and I'm glad everyone, thank you for taking part in the pizza debate last week.
Now, I'm getting suspicious.
What?
Because every time there is a vote for right, no, I'm not suspicious. It's all right. People are starting to vote.
Yes, it shouldn't have it because you can only do it for one IP address anyway.
Yeah, so if your wife or your partner, husband, whatever, wants to vote, they'll have to go next door and borrow the neighbour's Wi-Fi.
If not, fight over it.
That was Jason.
Evening, Jason. Evening. Anyway, what busy old week on the channel. Lots been happening, and whatever. So
yeah, you've broken a couple of
and
numbers.
it's been, considering it's been Easter as well. 4,965 people did manage to watch this week. Which is pretty good.
What you lot got nothing better to do? You should be out there rolling Easter eggs and doing all sorts of silly things with the kids.
No wonder he's looking at me gone out. I haven't given him his little treat.
Oh, you're in the bad books.
Okay,
but he was quiet about it.
He's not. He was looking at me, and he was sort of. There was a little whimper. Anyway, top 3 for last week. Number 3 was Richard and I's collaborations, 112 views. Number 2, Mondays, the B-52s. And at number 1, the tribute to Mr. Steve Harley. So
I thought that would get a fair few.
Yes. A lot of you didn't fall for the April Fools, you clever people.
Wow, you advertised it too early.
Yeah, probably did anyway. So the top short last week was Uriah Heep's Salisbury. 459 people watched that. So what's been happening in the 28 days? Well, just over 20,000 views. I think that's the most we've had for a month, or 28 days.
I think we've had higher, but we'd have to go back and...
Yes, 67 new subscribers, though. Now, that's pretty good. So
yes, you've actually broken through. You've broken 1,600.
I know, I did see that. Number 3, the little video I made at the Leeds Record Fair. That's popular.
Yeah, we didn't get to see any bodies.
229. Richard and I's bad covers at 207, but 207. You know what the most in the last 28 days? You know what the most watched video is?
Go on.
Status Quo. 283 people have watched Status Quo.
I wonder how many people have watched Slade, and you'll know why I've asked that question.
I know. top short. It's still Bomber motoring. So the big figures, we're now gone cracking through 320,752 views. And as Dave says, we broke 1,600 subscribers this week. We're up to 1,608. What have you been watching? Well, the figures are the same. Well, the top three are Rigsy is 4,058. I think Jethro Tull only about 9 behind now, so that could change. You never know. Slade are still there at 735, but Status Quo are now at 855. So yeah, it's all good. And Jean-Michel Jarre is now 2767. Now, what have I been listening to? Well, apart from listening to other stuff that you will find out at a later date, so don't give that away too much. Well, it just spoils the spoilers, doesn't it? So, Jade Warrior, no, Marmalade. I've only listened to 3 of 12, but I've been so busy sorting that other stuff out. Jade Warrior, 8-14. Circus Devil, 9-14. The Bare Naked Ladies, 9-13.
You're
and
welcome,
Joe Mambassa, 9-16.
Who?
Joe Bonamassa, even. Yeah, that's his distant cousin. And I completed Belle and Sebastian.
No, don't.
But I have been listening to lots of other stuff as well, so it's not like.
Yes, we can't give out trade secrets.
Can't give out the trade secrets, but I have been listening to lots of other stuff. Right, let's get rid of that because I don't need that anymore. I make the big screen so I can see everything. So, yeah, it's now time for Hatches, Matches, and Dispatches.
We got whatever. With 17 dispatches, with 28 hatches, got 3 + 1 matches, and we got 12 bits about 1986. So our dispatches, right? Some of these are pre last week's episode because we didn't get the notifications. So the 25th of last month, Humphrey Campbell, a Surinamese Dutch pop singer. We'd already had one other Surinamese Dutch singer. This is a different one. Maurice El Mediouni, an Algerian jazz pianist, and unfortunately, Chris Cross. He played with Ultravox and Tiger Lily. They all died on the 25th. The 26th saw the departure of Claire Elliott, New Zealand punk singer with Suburban Reptiles, and Chandra Kumara Kandanaratchichi, a Sri Lankan playback singer. The 27th saw the La Castu, a Swiss actress, dancer, and pop singer, left us. And on the 28th, Stephanie Lai Mingze, Hong Kong singer and actress. Mark Spiro. Now, he's an American songwriter and record producer. And his age when he died is either 66 or 67, because he was born on the 28th of March, 1957, and he died on the 28th of March, 2024. So if he died before the time that he was born, he's 66. If he died after, he's 67. Anyway.
And they put that on his dirt, on his...
Exactly. How do you put that? We also lost Marian Zazila, an American experimental music singer and Tanpura player. And I don't know what Tanpura is. I haven't had time to look it up. The 29th, you'll hear this band name mentioned, but we lost Jerry Conway, an English folk rock drummer and percussionist. He played with Jethro Tull, Fairport Convention, Cat Stevens, and Pentangle. Remember that name. The 30th, Van Hupui, an Indian mezzo multi-genre singer, left us. And on the 31st, Casey Benjamin, American jazz multi-instrumentalist with the Robert Glasper Experiment, and Michael McMartin, Canadian-Australian music entrepreneur and manager. He managed Hoodoo Gurus and Radio Birdman. April 1st, Phil Delire, or Delira, Belgian music producer, died. The 3rd, Albert Heath, an American jazz drummer with the Heath Brothers. Levi Kiviniemi, a Finnish concert organist. And this one surprised Iain and myself. Noctur Wolf. He was a German Benedictine monk. He had been made abbot primate of the Benedictine order, and he was a musician. He played rhythm guitarist for a German rock band, Feedback, and he started playing with them in 1991. And in 2008, they were the support act for Deep Purple. And the abbot, he was known as the Rockin' Abbot, was brought on stage by Ian Gillan and Steve Morse while they were playing Smoke on the Water. So I thought it was a nice way to introduce a support act band member. So those are your dispatches. Birthdays today. The youngest is 30. That's Sheku Kanem Mason, MBE. He's a British cellist. He won the 2016 BBC Young Musician Award. He was actually the first black musician to win the competition since it started in 1978. And he was the cellist who played at Harry and Meghan's wedding. Also 30 is Risako Sugaya, Japanese pop singer with Berries Kobo. 40 today is Augustin Hadalik, Italian, German, American Grammy-winning classical violinist. 44 is Johnny Burrell, an English singer with Razorlight. 45 is Andy McKee, an American fingerstyle guitarist. 46 is Lamar Obika. He's known as Lamar. He's an English singer, songwriter, and record producer. Also 46 is Aska Yang, a Taiwanese singer. 47 today is Adam Dutkevich, better known as Adam D or Trash D. He's an American guitarist with the band Killswitch Engage. 52 is Jill Scott, American soul singer and songwriter. And Magnus Svenningsson, Swedish musician with the Cardigans. 61 today is David Gavurin, English pop guitarist and songwriter with the Sundays. And if you've ever watched ITV, chances are you've seen Jane McDonald trolling around on a cruise ship, or what do they call that women's program?
Oh, the one I called Joined Up Bollocks.
Yes. She's 61, pop singer and television presenter. 64 today is Jane Eaglin, English dramatic soprano, and Andrew Ladd, a British pianist and contemporary classical composer. 67 is Nobuyoshi Kawano, Japanese musician. He was with the group Rats and Star. 68 is Alan Harris, American jazz singer and guitarist. 70 is Michelle Camilo, a Dominican jazz, Latin and classical pianist, as is Ali El Hagar, an Egyptian singer and actor. 73 today is Steve Gatlin, American country singer with the Gatlin Brothers. 75 is Michael Finelli, an American singer-songwriter with the Millennium and Krabby Appleton. Larry Lingle, American rock guitarist with the Four Seasons from 1979 to 1993. 76 today is David Pickwithers, British rock and jazz drummer he was with Dire Straits from 77 to 82. Excuse me a moment.
The drummer on Sultans of Swing, of course.
Yep. 77 is Salvatore Schiarino. He's an Italian composer. And 78 today, all kowtow to Dave Hill, rock guitarist with Slade. 82 today is Chris Jensen, an American musician. 85 is Danny Thompson. He's a British double bassist. He's played with Blues Incorporated. And I told you, keep this band in mind, Pentangle. He's also played with Richard Thompson and John Martin. 89 today is Francois Bernard Maché, French composer. And granddaddy today is 92-year-old Clive Davis, an American record producer and music industry executive. And he has worked with Columbia, Arista, and Sony. So there's your hatches and dispatches. Matches, 3 + 1. 1882, the actress Sarah Bernhardt. She married diplomat Aristide Demala. Didn't last long. He died 7 years later in 1889. 2001, Brooke Shields got married. She married sitcom writer Chris Henchy. And in 2008, Beyonce married Jay-Z. Amazingly, they're still married. But someone who's not married set a record in 2019. The only record that could be set is Jeff Bezos getting divorced from Mackenzie Bezos. They set a record with a 35 billion with a B dollar settlement. Oh. All right. Okay. 1986. What happened? Well, January, the inaugural class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame were inducted. And they included the likes of Chuck Berry and James Brown, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, Fats Domino, the Everly Brothers, Buddy Holly, Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis Presley, Little Richard, Robert Johnson, Jimmy Rogers, Jimmy Yancey, Alan Freed, John Hammond, and Sam Phillips. That's a hell of a group to be a member of. February, Halley's Comet arrived in system. Unfortunately for us, whenever it got to perihelion, which is the nearest point to the sun, it was on the other side. We didn't get to see it until it was actually in the solar system. March, the Beatles were able to officially sell records in Russia. April saw the world's worst nuclear disaster. The fourth reactor at Chernobyl exploded. 31 people died in the explosion, but the radioactive contamination covered most of Western Europe. To lighten things up, May, Top Gun was released, film starring Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer.
I've got a story about that. I took a young lady to see it and I fell asleep during it.
Oh, that's how riveting it was.
Oh, God, yeah. She wanted to see it and I fell asleep in it.
June, as usual, we had Glastonbury. So,
Asphalt didn't play, though, did they?
No, it was one of the first years they didn't. The headliners in 86 were The Cure, The Psychedelic Furs, and Level 42. Other acts that appeared included Simply Red, Madness, Ruby Turner, Amazulu, Black Uhuru, The Wailers Band, John Martin, The House Martins, The Waterboys, The Pogues, and Christy Moore. July saw the opening of the 13th Commonwealth Games in Edinburgh. And in August, a US Navy officer was sentenced for spying. Boy, did he get a sentence. He got 365 years. September, so one of the worst TV, sitcom, whatever you want to call it, scenarios ever. Bobby appeared in the shower, and they reckoned that his death was attributed to his wife, Pam, having a bad dream. What a load of codswallop. Anyway, October. Phantom of the Opera premiered in London. It starred Michael Crawford and Sarah Brightman, as we all know. It ran for 13,629 performances. November saw
On
The
my
TV
birthday.
drama. Yes. I wasn't going to mention it because we all know when your birthday is.
Yeah.
But November saw a TV drama premiere on the BBC, starring Michael Gambon. We started watching The Singing Detective.
Oh, great. I love that.
And then in December the 14th, an experimental airplane took off. It was piloted by Dick Rutan and Jana Yeager. It was called Voyager, and it flew non-stop for 9 days. It circumnavigated the world and landed back at Edwards Air Force Base, California. First non-refueled, non-stop flight ever. Amazing piece of equipment. Anyway, there's your talking points for 86, your hatches, matches, and dispatches. You've had enough of me, so I could close that.
See if this works this week.
I'm a Zulu. Yeah, really, I'm a Glaswegian. Yes, the hair has grown a little bit. Evening, Groovy Lisa. Right. Are you ready for Hatch? Are you ready for
what's on next week? Yeah, hopefully it works this week.
Okay. There's add to stage. It's gone full screen. Well, I've made it full screen, but it's not. Go on, see if you can play it. No.
Oh, God.
Right, you're going to have to advance it manually. There you go.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the very last part of Michael Schenker. We finally got there. And it's basically his collaborations. He made bits and bobs with other people for this one-off things. A Perfect Side. Now, this was suggested by Dave, and he really does give me some hard ones to do. One of my favourite live albums, so I had to choose from 4 sides.
Yeah, and we still argued this afternoon about which side was the better. So
I'll be doing that. Thursday, we got a viewer's request.
Mm-hmm.
They're very. If you don't know who Dead Can't Dance, they're, how would you describe them? Very Enya type. Lots of chants and keyboards.
Yes.
Very good band. That's one way to describe them. If you like Enya, you're going to like Dead Can't Dance. And if you like Clanner, you'll probably like it.
No, it's Dead Can Dance.
Yeah, sorry.
Not can't. No, it's Genesis who can't dance.
Yes. Retro ranking, we're heading out for a little glam thing this week anyway. So I thought I would find 10 songs by the Mighty Wizard. Absolutely a bunch of fruit bats.
Oh, they were brilliant.
They were brilliant though. So we're going to look at some Wizard songs. Wednesday's marathon. We have got the one and only,
the late great
Mr. Gordon Lightfoot. A toughie on me. A toughie. That was tough.
Well, you've been listening to them for what? To a month and a half?
Yeah, just to get it. Oh, it's been a struggle. An enjoyable struggle though.
Mm.
So okay, let's go to Thursday. We've got the second quarterfinal between, what a matchup, Bridge Over Troubled Water and Sex Pistols. And we've got Pick and Mix, the producer that we had to cancel because my system went down and it still hasn't been propped the same ever since. We must sort this problem out. And it's the one and only Mr. Bruce Fairburn.
Mm-hmm.
Busy day Friday. We're going to do some live albums of Blackmore's Night. Looks like the cast of Lord of the Rings. I mean, look at that. They're all dressed medieval. And what's Richie Blackmore wearing? Sunglasses.
Hey, it's 8 o'clock at night. It's dark. We're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, totally ruins the picture, doesn't it? New album, Exciting Times. It comes out tomorrow. I know I'm jumping for joy, and I know Zeb will be jumping for joy.
Oh, yes, he is already.
Brand new album from the mighty Hawkwind, Dave Brock. He must be 85 now, and he's still making records. Fair play to the guy. And also, we've got the new album from Trio from Canada, Sabotage, and it's called Curtain Call, which actually may be their last ever album.
Yes.
It's a bit obvious, isn't it? And then next Saturday, now on the Saturday, it's a very special one. It's a nice 40th video. And we're going to do a glam rock. I don't know if he'll probably watch this tomorrow and go mad, but yeah, that's it. To be presented by Dave Hill and David Bowie. So yes, we're doing our 40th video, and we're going to pick our top 20. I said top 20 glam rock songs of all time, because our very first video was glam rock, so we decided to do something glam rock. Yeah, you can all have a good laugh at that. Even Richard hasn't seen that yet, so so there we go. That's
and Sunday.
Nothing.
Well, you've got a Sunday
Yeah,
one.
there's a Sunday there, but that's so you know all the trade secrets now. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that.
Okay. Right. As you can see, Zeb has answered your theoretical question. He's 82. In August, he's 83. Last interview. The next album is being mixed. So, Dot Cop the Frankenstein's monster. I love it. Oh, good one, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. I really do. That's my best Dave Hill. I should have got a cup of soup out. Yes. Anyway, I haven't got no films to show you because I've only got one, and that's it. So I'm going to show you some 12 inches formal show albums, because there are some movie-related ones in there.
Okay.
So
there you go.
So the first one I'm going to show, these are all 1986, of course. It's an AC/DC one. Who made who? Now, this is from... Hi, Alan. This is actually from a film called Maximum Overdrive, which is a Stephen King thing, when all the machines take over the world. We only went to see it because all the music is AC/DC. So that is another one. Also in 1986, a film came out called The Highlander. There can only be one. And here is the 12-inch for Kind of Magic, which has got a great picture of the Kurgan on the front. Absolutely brilliant.
That was an awesome costume.
That was awesome. Also, from the same album, A Kind of Magic, we have One Vision, Fried Chicken, which is actually featured in the film Iron Eagle, I think. Yeah, so yeah, that's the 12-inch version on the blurred vision. I can't still get over John Deake's hair. Lots of bands busy touring because of making albums, so they all jump on the bandwagon. Even Genesis did. They brought out this live version of Throwing It All Away and The Invisible Touch. Now, I don't mind Throwing It All Away, but I don't like Invisible Touch. But that's a very rare 12-inch single. Status Quo come back on the scene, and the song's got... We had Rolling Home, not so bad. Red Sky, which has got the Milton Keynes, Good Evening, Elliot.
Evening, Elliot.
Which has got the Milton Keynes medley on it. Then we had this abominable, Dreaming. Top it off, we had, yes, I've got a copy of that, and I don't
dear.
So, yeah, that this was about that. Marillion didn't bring out an album because they were busy touring. But
Oh, no. Have we been spared? No, we haven't.
no, we haven't. Of course we haven't. But because these are very rare. This is a German maxi single of a live version of Garden Party, which is from Reel to Reel, and it's got Kaylee and scripts of Jessica Tia. And this is an American import. This is on the Capitol label, and it's called Brief Encounter. And it's got Lady Nina on it and Freaks, 2 B-sides, live version of Kaylee, Fugazi and script. Mr. Jar was busy as well. He had Rendezvous. And I brought this is, I think this is Dreyfus. So yes, it's actually French. It's an actual French version. I'm mixing my LPs up now. I've got to stop that. Bit of hair metal or glam metal. Bon Jovi. I brought that the day it came out. Look, you got a free colour poster, which I have got from Donington 85. Very glamorous.
Have you got
Vigilante, but it's on my iPod, unfortunately. Remember that coming out?
Yes.
Yeah. Final Countdown come out. But they know we're going. The best single of the year was that. Cliff Richard and the Young Ones. Comic Relief, brilliant version. Absolutely classic, that is. I love that. We might show this later, but we had Art of Noise. Remember that character?
Yeah, Max.
Max. A bit of legs. Now, I've got a case of... it's not as bad as Cars.
Oh, Jason has it on picture disc.
Yes. This is not as bad as Cars, but I have got 2 versions of the same song.
Peter gun scene.
Yes, 2 clippings. And my last one of this little thing is a 12-inch of Eloise.
Oh, nice one.
But look what colour it is.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and on the B side, we have got Beat Girl and Temptation. Now, this was from the album, and this came with the album. Now, I haven't got the album, but this was at a record fair.
Ooh.
So I brought it. Oh, look, it's got the reflection of me showing a blue record. So that is the 12-inch version of Eloise. So yeah, so I haven't got no films for this. The only film I've got is Police Academy 3.
And Alan's asking, do you have Rainbow Final Vinyl from 86?
Yeah, but I'm not showing it because I've got so many albums from 86 and I've only got, I think I've got 11 because 2 are sort of connected. There's a reason I want to show one of them. So that's the sort of album videos and this week. So I haven't got many. I have got them, but I can't show them or someone might come and knock me door. Yes.
Yes, right, yes. Okay, yes, we understand that. So it's time for a link to go up, I think.
I think so, yes. I'm just doing that. Yes, I have got the final vinyl. I actually had it on the other day. So there's the link if you want to come up and say hello.
And currently it's 9-5 to Who's Next.
Yeah, I've got a few more. I've got a bit more for 1987. But after that, it'll be the odd album. But I've come up with a plan so I can show you what I did. Yes, it did introduce Zed as a police officer. He was in number 2 as a bad boy, but he joined the police force in number 3. Yeah, I've got because I went to CD and I haven't got the CDs now. I have come up with a way to present some of my albums from the years going on from probably 88, 89, because I stopped buying vinyl then. Which I hadn't, but there you go. So, yeah, right. This is Elvis Juice. I know it's a terrible name, but it's a grapefruit infused beer, and I do like it.
So long as we're still alive, Jason, yes.
I think
I don't know,
that's as
I don't
far
know
as
that
we'll
Ian's
go.
going to have
It's
a lot.
most of us thing. And then we got to come up. I will do what I shall do. I shall offer you a challenge every week for those that come up. There'll be a challenge that you'll get the week before.
This is going to be interesting.
Oh yes, I'm going to challenge you. It'll be sort of themed things.
And if you can hear strange noises, it's me scratching the head. Because I don't know what he's coming up with.
Oh no, I came up. Yes, we haven't. It's sort of in the back burner, but it's an idea. It's just an idea that I've got. Some challenges. And then what we'll do, we'll get people to set challenges as well.
87 was a good year. 86 wasn't bad.
Oh
yeah, and Stevie, if he's going to come, he's going to be late. He has something that he has to do this evening.
Yes, he did let us know.
Yeah.
So the link's up there. That one there. Come and say hello and talk about the world and the destruction of the world. Do you want to talk about the Who?
Who?
Who? Yes, who?
What?
Anyway, what would Bob think? I'll explain the voting. As you know, we had a few technical issues with voting. So if you go to the top of where we used to have the poll for the Battle Royale, there is now another thing, and it's got the
it's got the link.
It's got the link to the thing. Good evening, Jimmy.
Evening, chaps. I didn't want to be the first one up, so I was waiting for some results, but I started feeling a bit bad that no one had clicked the link, so I thought, oh, all right, I'll be first. Yeah. But that means I'm going to have to be first to show my stuff, doesn't it? So,
yes, it does.
Yeah. Before
Hysteria over appetite for destruction. Oh, dear.
Ooh, you're going to get an argument from Ian over that. Hysteria is not his favourite.
Oh no, that's sort of. I love Hysteria. The songs on Hysteria when they are played live, because you haven't got that moron Mutt Lang interfering.
Don't sugarcoat it. How do you really feel about him?
I just don't like Mutt Lang. I think he's an awful producer. He likes everything smooth and perfect. That's not what rock music was about. It's plug in, go, warts and all, and make a great record.
Yeah, and who did I challenge you to do as one of your first producers?
Mutt Lang. No, I'm not a great fan of Mutt Lang. Never have been. Never will be. I'm glad he doesn't do it anymore.
Was he the chap who's married to Shania Twain?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and then shagged the woman next door, and Shania divorced him and married her husband.
I was going to say you can't fault his taste in women, but if he cheat on Shania Twain, he must be a bit of a knob. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
she's gorgeous.
Yes.
Evening, Mike.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
She's actually coming to play in Belfast next month.
Oh, look at that. He doesn't know where to vote, does he?
No, it's a difficult choice tonight. This local derby.
I know, it's a proper local derby, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the ironic thing is, it's the same, it's the last two from round two. So, yeah. Yes. Did everyone enjoy the draw with Richard throwing balls around? What an hooligan, eh?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
you've got.
I mean,
you're doing the semi-final draw, so you've got to. Richard set the benchmark, hasn't he?
Oh, I know. I'll have to think of some wacky indoor sport, won't I?
Indoor. You can't get
in the fireplace.
He managed to get one though in his basket.
I know. But I thought it was quite impressive. Yeah, 1 out of 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that was a fun day because we recorded the collaborations first. and then we did that afterwards. So it was a good fun morning actually. Yeah, I can't believe my video I made, that little video I made in Leeds, was the 3rd most watched thing last week.
Well, you see, this is it. Everyone wants to watch Leeds. You know, this is a well-known fact. Yeah,
I actually have. I watched it again, and I just love that bit where me and you talking about. We had there was Martin and Nick, and we decided they are the smallest people in the vinyl community.
Oh yeah.
Hello, guys.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Alan.
Hey,
Nice to see you.
thanks very much. Thanks for having me in.
Yeah, Alan's been a fan of. Well, he's been a subscriber near enough from day one, haven't you? You've been
More or less, yeah, more or less.
So yeah, it's nice to see you up here.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. We've not met before, Alan. So hi.
Hello, guys. Hello, Mike and Jimmy and Mastermind Dave. Yeah. Actually, Dave, I gave you your name. I gave you a christened you.
Yes, he did. This is the man that gave him his name.
Kindly.
Yes, it was a good one, Elliot.
So, where are we all from?
I'm in Leeds, Alan.
Is that Jimmy and Mike?
That was Mike.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Leeds. Right. Where are you from, Jimmy?
I'm from Chesterfield.
Chesterfield, right. I'm from a town called Dumbarton in Scotland. It's about 18 miles from Glasgow city centre.
Yeah, I know that.
And Iain, you're Nottingham, aren't you, Iain?
I'm in Northampton, in the middle.
Northampton, you began an end. Right, I always get mixed up. Yeah. So you were showing your vinyl from 1986 there.
87, yes, 7 inches.
87. Right.
No, 86.
Right. Okay.
And what we do, we go round and people will show we get 10 songs, 10 albums from the year that we talk about.
Excellent.
Yeah. So what was you buying in Mike in 86? Was you still buying singles?
I don't have a lot of singles from 86, but I've got quite a lot of vinyl. But I mean, once we get to the 90s, it's mainly CDs for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Alan can see
that. That's right, Charles.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff wasn't even released on CD in the 90s, was it?
Nah.
No, you had to start a streaming. Coming.
So, are you going to start us off, Jimmy, as you were first up?
No.
Yeah, you are, Jimmy. Yeah, you were so keen. Yeah, I was making sure I wasn't going to be first, Jimmy. So I'm pleased you blinked first.
It's only polite, although Nick's in the chat now, so maybe.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Yeah.
Nick got the lyrics.
He's answered. I said I know what it is, and I was told last week, and I was told to hang on, and then no one then asked what it was.
Honestly, I was trying to figure out what that song was. Shiver to the bone, that's right.
Right, so that's that bit. But here's the next one. What's the other thing we do, Alan? I put Ranker in Chief in a different language every week.
Right. That's a good album, that Revenge, actually. It's a good album.
Yeah, it is a good album. So what are you going to show then, Jimmy? Or come on.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'll have the graveyard shift, shall I? Right.
The graveyard shift is going to be Michael in Japan if he comes up, because it's 4 o'clock in the morning for him.
Well, technically, yeah. Is it that early in Japan when he comes on? I knew it was early morning. I didn't think it was like middle of the night. Anyway,
he lives in the futures, does Michael? Yeah.
So yeah, I've got some vinyl, a couple of CDs, and I'm going to start out with some New Order. Of course, I'm not going to go a week without showing New Order, if at all possible. I'm just laughing at the chat. Another Hessian style box set. This one is New Order's album from '86, Brotherhood. Fact 150C. Very similar to Low Life that I showed you last week. It's got a little postcard in it, and that's the cassette, chrome cassette. I think, if that means anything to anybody.
That means that catalogue number there, aye? Is that the catalogue number on the front?
Yes, it is.
Aye. Right, I thought that.
Fact 150C.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and the vinyl will just be Fact 150, and the CD will be Fact 150 CD, I think.
Right, I don't know, must have.
I've probably got that wrong, but Stevie's not here to correct me, so I don't really care. Yeah, I ranked this, and this was out of New Order's 10 studio albums, my second favourite. So this one, personal favourite of mine.
Right.
Speaking of favourite, I've. Do you want to see my favourite Depeche Mode album of all time? This one I ranked 1 out of their 15. So I'm looking at my
go for it
list here, just that I wrote to remind myself where I ranked these. My favourite Depeche Mode album of all time. It was close between this one and I can't remember what was number 2 now. It might have been
Fire.
No, that was quite high up. That was in my top 5, I believe. But but this was my favourite, Black Celebration.
All right, that's the same year, Black Celebration. Yep.
I love this. I think it was a relatively easy call to put this as my number 1 because I'm sorry, I'm going to put my glasses on briefly here because there's some small text. But the singles on here are quality. A Question of Lust, that's one of Depeche Mode's best ever singles. A Question of Time, not quite as good, but it was still decent. Stripped, which I'm familiar with a lot of cover versions of that from acts like Rammstein, In Strict Confidence, and I think there's someone else who covered it who I'm forgetting. But there's some other great tracks on here as well, such as the title track, which opens it, Black Celebration. Here Is the House. That's another personal favourite of mine. It Doesn't Matter Too. To be honest, they're all good on here. I don't think there's a bad track on it. So my favourite Depeche album.
Which album is thing me on? It's called A Heart. What album's that on?
It's called A Heart. Was on. I think that was on the previous the one from '84. I think. I could be wrong though. I'd have the names escape me. I can picture it in my head. Some great
Construction Time Again.
Or that, yeah. It's either Construction Time Again or Some Great Reward, I think. Right.
Okay. Right. Thanks.
Yeah. I've talked about these before. It's the CD and DVD double sets. The album on the red disc.
Right.
And the DVD, although it does have the album in surround sound as well, but the DVD, I like those for the documentaries. So my favourite Depeche album of all time, yet to be bettered by them. I'm glad we've got to 1986 because it means I can get started on another personal favourite act of mine.
So I mentioned before you got that was a Waterford moment for the one that they actually kind of changed their sound at that point.
Depeche, I would argue that they'd gone industrial at least a couple of years previous myself. That was more so. So I would agree with you to a large extent there. Pet Shop Boys, 1980 debut album. Please, I'm sorry that's a very minimal sleeve there.
I know. I could be more minimal.
It's not very interesting to look at. This is the 2 CD further listening edition. I've got all these further listening sets from the Pet Shop Boys. I love them because they've got the remastered album on disc 1, and then they've got B-sides and alternate mixes, remixes on disc 2. And they all come with a nice rather thick booklet as well. Yeah, it's not very interesting to look at. A lot of Pet Shop Boys packaging, it was deliberately minimal. I've ranked the Pet Shop Boys and this album out of their 14 studio albums, which will soon be 15.
Well, 14.
Well, yeah, technically it's more really because they did like musical soundtracks and stuff as well.
That's right, that's correct.
I didn't include stuff like Battleship Potemkin and Closer to Heaven in
Right.
my ranking. I just included what was the strict studio albums. So
Hi, Stephen. Hi, Stephen.
this one out of 14, soon to be 15, I ranked at 9, which sounds low. I suppose it is low.
Right, I'll turn. Right, sorry about that.
It's okay. We adjusted you.
Right, okay. Thanks very much.
Sorry, go on, Jimmy.
I ranked this at 9 out of 14, which sounds low. But I love almost all of Pet Shop Boys' albums, so some have got to be in the bottom half. I think the only 2 Pet Shop Boys albums I've never been overly fond of were the 2 that I ranked 13th and 14th. 14th was Nightlife from 99. I've never massively rated that. And 13, I think, was Release from 2002. So, yeah. But all those videos are available on my channel, by the way. No, so I'll show a bit of vinyl, not an awful lot to show in relation to actual wax, but I've managed to show them, I think, every time since I've been being a part of the Focus year, and it's a yellow album. But I've had to go with like a remix / compilation this year because there wasn't a proper studio album. This is 80 to 85, the new mix in one go. And although it's been some years since I've listened to it, I believe this is it's like a mixed album. So every track segues into the last one, I believe. Just show the gatefold sleeve there. I've put this in a gatefold protector, which, would you believe, and I'm going to call him out and embarrass him on this, but Richard McCook didn't know these existed up until last year, these gatefold protectors. How old's Richard McCook? He discovered gatefold vinyl album protectors in 20...
years ago, actually.
But this has got... I'm familiar with everything. I'm just trying to see if there's any particular singles that are on here. It's like different mixes, obviously. Vicious Games, Lost Again, Boss Stitch, that was a very early single. Live at the Roxy, I don't know if that was a single, but I'm definitely familiar with it. Oh Yeah, which everyone knows from Ferris Bueller and numerous other films. Desire, that was a single. Remix album, not an awful lot to say about it because I've not listened to it in an awful long time, and I just wanted to show some yellow. But 80 to 85, the new mix in one go. Another one that's not massively interesting, but it was definitely released in 86, so I thought I'd pick it out, is Clanad compilation. Oh, and that's glaring a lot, so I'm going to take it out of its protector. This is a K-Tel compilation, the collection. It came out in 86. They released a more official compilation on their own record label or their proper record label, not K-Tel, I should say. I think it was 3 years later with Past Present.
Oh,
yeah. I think Iain will be familiar with that compilation. If no one else, this one I just picked this one up because it was really cheap off Discogs, I think.
K-Tel still going in 86?
Pardon?
Sorry, was K-Tel still going in 86? K-Tel label.
It was going in 1986 according to this. Although the address on the back is actually K-Tel Island, which, by the way, is located at 31 Bulls Bridge Terrace, Dublin 4, Ireland. So maybe I don't know about the UK wing of K-Tel, but the Irish one was certainly going because that's the address in Dublin on the bottom. So yeah, so I bought it because it was Clanad, it was on vinyl, it was cheap. But I've got I've got Past Present, and I've got their more recent compilation on vinyl, In a Lifetime, and both of those way more comprehensive than that. But it's Clannad, and I think Clannad are great. Right then, so I showed you my favourite Depeche Mode album. It's time to now show you my favourite Madonna album, and it is True Blue. Now, I did do a Madonna ranking. That was quite recent, actually, but because I've only collected Madonna up till Music in 2000, I decided to rank all her 80s and 90s albums, and I did include soundtracks like I'm Breathless and Who's That Girl? That was the other one. And number 2 in the ranking was Ray of Light, but I felt that Ray of Light, much as I love loads of what's on it, there was a little bit of filler on it for me, whereas True Blue had to be number 1 because, as far as I'm concerned, it's banger after banger, as the kids might say for this one. Papa Don't Preach, Open Your Heart, Live to Tell. I love Live to Tell. I'm not a big ballad guy normally, but Live to Tell has to be one of the greatest ballads ever recorded. Title track, True Blue, another fantastic single, and another one of my favourite Madonna singles. It's almost like a greatest hits for me, this. Larry's La Bonita on side B. I've got a great cover version of that I bought on 7-inch vinyl from, what they call something like Houseplants or something like that, like a funny indie group. It came out a couple of years ago, and it's done in like a sort of psych rock style, and it's really good. Check it out if you can. And also, after Larry's La Bonita is a song that I like to think would be dedicated to me, Jimmy Jimmy, but it's not, because
Jimmy.
it's not that one. I don't think it's a cover of that. So yeah, that came out 86, big album, and as far as I'm concerned, although I'm only judging it from her 80s and 90s output, for me, from that period anyway, it's Madonna's best. And finally, I can show a single today. Now, this has already been shown, so I think it's the best single from 1986. In fact, I think it's the best single that this group ever did, with an arguable exception of a certain one from the late 60s. But Iain's got the 12-inch version. I've got the 7-inch version. And, you know, much like Richard McCook only discovered about gatefold vinyl protectors in 2023, it took me many years to discover that this was actually a cover version. I think it was the Bolland brothers who wrote it. Iain, I think, is going to know what I'm referring to by now, certainly. But just in case, it's the 7-inch of, it should have been number 1, I think. It was their greatest, even though it's technically a cover. It's Status Quo. It's in the army now. And on side 2 is a track called Heartburn. And I'm sure I would have listened to it, but I have no idea. Iain, if
I can tell you a story about Heartburn. It's actually a song that was going to be on a Rick Parfitt solo album that he did not.
Right. Okay.
I mean, he's on his posthumous album as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. But yeah, no irony or taking the mickey. I do really love that. It's one of those songs, I heard it loads on the radio, and my dad taped it off Radio 1, and he liked it because he seemed to be playing it quite a lot. I like it. It was a bit of an earworm, and although maybe it might be Marmite to certain hardcore Status Quo fans, fortunately, because I don't wear double denim, I'm not a hardcore Status Quo fan. So it's not really my fight to be involved in, but I love it. In the army now, Status Quo. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Hey, well done, Jimmy.
Well done.
Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Pet Shop Boys are one of those bands that when they were sort of going, I wasn't really into them at all, but now I really come to appreciate their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they've done some fantastic synth pop, you know, and I was fairly early on board with Pet Shop Boys simply because my mum was into them, certainly from actually in 87, bit of a spoiler for next week, I suppose, which is my favourite PSB album of all time as well. And so, yeah, I was listening to them at a very young age, but I I think they're great, and I think they don't get quite the amount of love that certain acts do. Certain synth acts seem to get talked about a lot in the VC. You know, like people like Gary Newman, for instance. Like, you know, there's a certain someone who loves Gary Newman so much he collects like the same single multiple times. And also,
I think that's the only Gary Newman he's got. You know,
Yeah.
probably.
he's got that single in it. Yeah.
I felt guilty showing 2 versions of Art of Noise doing Peter Gunn, but
Yeah, that was good. I really love the video for that.
Yeah.
You know, with the private detective.
yeah, there's on the Twain mix you get Dwayne ending. Shall I do that again? No, wonderfully put together that Peter Gunn, arranged by the wonderful Anne Dudley. You know, she's done some fantastic stuff. Message for you, Mike, from the man himself.
Yeah, I know you can, Nick. That's why I said it.
In answer to a question, K-Tel are still going.
Oh,
Yeah, I've got a couple of K-Tel albums.
Although the guy that founded them died 2020.
Hang on. Is everyone sounding all right? Because I had to do some. We had to do some.
Yeah. I'm assuming a lot of mine was drowned out. So
Yeah.
You
Have
didn't
you read the private chat, Jimmy? Have you read what I put in private chat? On private chat. It's still there.
yes.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm intrigued what Mike's going to show, because what Mike loves is sort of not being made anymore. So this will be an interesting one, I think.
Well,
there's only one person I was making. I don't think they released an album in '86. I can't remember, but I'm sure there'll be something there we can go. Hey,
well, I might surprise you. I might not. Right, let's start with something mainstream, mate.
Yeah,
and that's the Pretenders.
Oh, great album.
Get close. I mean, I don't think this is their best album by any means, but it's still a good album. There's the inner for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, the Pretenders, it's all about Chrissie Hynde's voice. There's just something about it that sort of, you know, draws you in, doesn't it? But I mean, there's two absolutely brilliant tracks on here. I mean, there's the single "Don't Get Me Wrong," but the real standout is "Him to Her." Absolutely lovely track, and that's so that's the Pretenders. Get close, and you know, Billy Bragg's difficult third album.
Difficult third album.
As he says, talking to the tax man about poetry. It says pay no more than £4.49. So that's how much, you know, that's how much albums cost in 1986, or maybe a bit more than that, I think, overall. But yeah, I mean, this is not a bad album. Greetings to the New Brunette is a good track, and then again, I would say Levi Stops Tears is one of Billy Bragg's absolute best.
I think he performed that at Glastonbury that year.
I think you're probably right, Dave. Yeah, I mean,
I know he was part of the lineup, but
yeah,
I can't remember what it was that he played.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think he's done anything better than that. It's just a fantastic song, very inventive lyrics. Right,
Someone said during the week that, I think it was a comment in one of the videos, that politics shouldn't be in music. I'm sorry, half of music is politics, especially whenever you think of Billy Bragg.
Well, the thing is, sort of, you know, Billy Bragg sort of like made a comment about that sort of years ago when, you know, journalist said to him, you know, sort of like, why do you have to put so much politics into music? And he said, well, actually, most of the songs I write are love songs.
Yeah.
So there you go. But yeah, I mean, politics is important, you know, in people's lives. I mean, you know, you don't want to be preached to, do you? But, you know, there we go. So this is Talking Heads,
Yep.
True Stories.
Good album.
And this is a sort of a soundtrack album of sorts. So it's a studio album by Talking Heads, and they wrote the music to a film that was called the film was called True Stories, and then it had a sort of, you know, a kind of subtitle which was if I wrote it down, a film about a bunch of people in Virgil, Texas, and it's a satirical comedy apparently, and John Goodman's in it, and apparently there was going to be a soundtrack album of it with the, you know, with cast sort of singing the songs, but it never sort of came to fruition. So there you go. This is the inner. So what have we got on here? Wild Wild Life, I suppose, is it's a track here. It was really big on MTV apparently. So there's a bit of Talking Heads. Now something that probably nobody else will show. The Bundu Boys.
Well, the Bundy Boys. No, I don't think they've ever been shown on the.
No.
That's the first.
Yeah, and this is Shabini. They're from Zimbabwe, and the name Bundu Boys. Bundu apparently means bush, and so they'd be, you know, the Bush Boys, and that was a nickname of the people who were fighting the white regime in Rhodesia in the 1970s. And the lead singer Biggie Tempo was Biggie Tembo, I should say, was a Bundu boy, a freedom fighter. So this is an album. I've got Andy Kershaw to thank for this. I mean, I used to listen to his program sort of most nights, and he was really, really into sort of odd music, and I think this was one of his favourite albums at the time. So the style is called Chumaranga. Oh, that's the sort of like the more sort of traditional sort of Zimbabwe sort of sound, and it's mixed with, you know, American rock influences and disco, and it became known as JIT, it's JIT music.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a great album. I listened to it today, first time for donkey's years, and it's just as good as it was. Right, an EP now, because lots of us like the Cramps, don't we? And this is What's Inside a Girl. And so you've got 3 tracks on here: What's Inside a Girl, Get Off the Road, and Give Me a Woman. And there they are on the back. Now, I don't know if Michael's watching at the moment, but this is a Cajun album. The Savoy Doucet Cajun Band. It's called With Spirits. It's on the sort of Arhoolie label, which was sort of label that was issuing a lot of Americana in Britain in the 1980s. So this is Michael Doucet, and then Anne and Mark Savoy. So there you go. I mean, I know that Michael's been showing, you know, quite a lot of Zydeco recently, and you know, the two sort of, the Occasion and Zydeco are sort of quite closely related as far as I can see. But yeah, that's a good sort of Americana album. Band from Hull.
House
Martins, London Mill, Hull 4. And you got, because, you know, Paul Heaton was in the band, and Paul Heaton, Stan Collymore, Hugh Whittaker, and of course Norman Cook, aka Fatboy Slim. And I think this is a great little album. So you got Happy Hour, Get Off Your Knees, Flag Day, Reverend's Revenge, Sitting on the Fence, Sheep is a good one. Then Lean on Me and Free, and a few others. But you know, I think it's a great little album. And again, I think it's the best they did. And you know, there's something that I really can't sort of reconcile to myself. I've never been able to get into the beautiful South. Just never ever been able to sort of really like them, you know. And I think maybe I should, you know. But anyway, there you go.
I think they were good for 4 singles.
Really, I got sort of
So I thought I'd let the man in. Well, put your
Yeah.
back on.
Hello, Nick. You get yourself settled. I carry on. Yeah, Michelle Shot, Texas Campfire Tapes, and this is on the Cooking Vinyl label. It's a second release on the label, and this album was recorded live around a campfire at a festival, and it was the Quiet Valley Ranch Festival, and it's tucked away in the rolling hills of East Texas. And it was recorded in September 1986 by the Cooking Vinyl sort of label boss, Pete Lawrence. And you know, if you've never heard this album, it's really fantastic bit of sort of folk. It's just Michelle and her guitar, and you can hear the sort of the crickets in the background. In between the tracks, yeah. It's a really good sort of kind of semi-live album, you know. So there you go. It was recorded on a sort of Sony professional Walkman. Right,
Isn't it?
yeah, right. Two to go, and XTC Skylarking, and I reckon this would clearly be Stevie Vinyl Cupboard's favourite XTC album. Because you just have to look at the sleeve notes, and it says produced and engineered by Todd Rundgren. So obviously it's
that's a plus, sir.
It's a top-notch album. It's a bit different from their earlier stuff, and you know, to me, it's got hints of sort of 60s British pop psych to it. It's quite a nice album, actually. But there you go, that's Skylark and XTC. And then finally, another one that maybe Steve will like. And I don't know, is this an EP or a mini album? Anyway, it plays at 45 RPM, and it's the Cocteau Twins and Victoria Land. And as with most of their albums, you get precious little information on the cover. But yeah, that's it. So that's all from me anyway. So there you go.
Excellent.
Well
stuff.
done, young sir.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. So we got Nick's bombing shot though.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be a stream without Nick's bombing.
Yeah. Are you feeling better, mate? You weren't well last.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Good.
Oh, Sig Sputnik and Doctor and the Medics. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and any cocktail is a keep. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, this is the best comment from Stefan today. This shows the best of today, and I've watched a few. Thank you very much. We like comments like that.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
I can do the reeling. Just give me 2 seconds, mate.
So I sorted some records out.
Oh.
Just trying to get my positioning right on the
So
makeshift seat.
As the bishop said to the actress once.
Is everybody done?
Yeah, well, I've not.
Yeah.
I never go until everyone's.
He's going to be last. We're sort of half waiting for Stevie. I don't know if he's coming up now.
Yeah, he's asked for a link, so I don't. It won't be too long.
Well, do you want to go ahead, Nick?
Yeah, can do. Oh, there I am.
Yeah. Hello there.
Oh, hang on a minute. Right. Hang on, yeah.
Hey, right. Stevie's having problems.
Stevie, I'll send you a link via your email. That should get you in straight away. Bear with me 2 seconds, Stevie.
All right, I'm going to leave Nick muted because we don't want to hear personal conversation.
Anyway, I'll try and carry on. Shall I go while Nick's going? And then I want to send this to Stevie, so I've got to open up a thing. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk about. I can sort of talk at the same time. Really enjoyed with Jimmy and Jason talking about radio on Sunday. It was a good night, Jimmy, I think.
Yeah, love that. So much fun discussing all our memories of radio and favourite shows and presenters and stuff. Yeah, thank you, Ian, and of course Jason. I know he's watching in the chat. That was a highly successful sodcast, in my humble opinion. So cheers.
Yeah, Stevie, check your email. I've just sent you the link straight in, so that should get you in.
Okay, we've taken you off mute, Nick.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
My granddaughter's not settling down.
That's all right. No, that's why we put you on mute. You thought it might be family matters, so we muted you.
Right. I'm in 86.
Yeah.
I've got picked out a few albums. There's some 12-inch singles here and a 7-inch single.
House Martins.
Has it already been shown?
Yeah. You can show it because we've shown some love for the House Martins.
I was never really mad on them, to be honest. The odd single or two, and then James Griffiths showed this in one of his videos, and I thought, I'll give it a try. And I've seen it a few times at car boot sales and that, and always sort of, passed it by like. But it's not a bad album. Not a bad album at all. Not brilliant, but it's not bad. Happy Hour's the biggest one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think for a Minute's on here as well. I remember that as a 7-inch single. Nothing else here really grabs my attention as to whether it was released on single or what. I don't know, but yeah, it's not too bad. Not brilliant, but not bad. My favourite Genesis tune.
Oh, I love the video to that.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old spitting image characters and that. Yeah, absolutely love this one. Like I say, the video.
And they got the synchronization on that absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Which leads me on to this 7-inch single.
Yeah, I've got the 12-inch.
Oh, yeah, that is fantastic.
Yeah, I've got the 12-inch single as well.
Yeah, I didn't show that because I had a funny feeling you may show that, Nick.
One of the greatest satirical British TV comedy programs ever made, without a shadow of it. 10 times better back then than the modern sort of version.
I totally agree.
I was down in London with one of my old bosses years ago. It was either the tail end of 1990 or 91. We went down to see England play the Cameroon at Wembley. And we went round Covent Garden, and there was a spitting image exhibition on. and a bit of a tour telling you and showing you the puppets and basically how it was all done and filmed and all that. Absolutely fantastic. Really enjoy it. And all right, it's one of those sort of cheesy, corny, tacky tunes, but the video was good. And do you remember what's on the B side?
Oh God, I've never listened to South African.
Yeah.
No offense to our friend from South Africa, but it was a song of the time. And there was another
Yeah.
one on the 12 inch, wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember what it was though.
No, I can't. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it.
I have actually met nice South Africans and a nice Zimbabwean.
Me and Dave used to drink in a South African bar in Covent Garden.
Yeah, the rugby bar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. If you wanted a decent beer and a decent game of rugby, you went to the South African rugby bar. It was brilliant.
Well, we had a pint or two in a pub in Covent Garden. I forget what it was called, but the toilets were downstairs in a converted beer cellar or something
That
like that.
sounds like the South African bar, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it all ended up in a great big altercation and a punch up. But
Yeah, that sounds like the South African bar.
yeah, no,
Ian, I've
well-
got a problem. I'm going to have to leave the stream and come back.
but it wasn't rugby or football connected. It was to do with something else. But
Not a problem.
Right.
I'll be back. I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, Dickie Davis, the classic, half man, half biscuit.
Yeah. You need to explain that to the non-English people, the non-British people.
oh, Dickie Davis,
Yeah.
yeah, World of Sport on a Saturday lunchtime afternoon. You either had Grandstand on the BBC, didn't you, or World of Sport on ITV?
That's right, yeah.
And I preferred Grandstand for the football because I liked Brian Motson and Barry Davis. I couldn't stand Brian Moore on ITV. I really couldn't. But yeah, Dickie Davis, presenter of World of Sport, Saturday afternoon. And of course, 4 o'clock, the wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Ken Walton.
Yeah. Oh, Ken Walton. Yeah, Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, Kendo Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Crybaby Jim Breaks.
Yeah, I actually saw
Yeah.
all
Giant
that.
Haystacks.
Yeah, yeah. What a load of old crap it was.
Yeah. Yeah, entertaining old crap, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, all the old women and that waving their hand. Go on, hit him, waving their handbags about and oh, blimey. Tina Turner.
Breaking every rule, great.
Yeah. Not one of her best albums, but not one of the worst either. And I must say, it's a shame really, but since she's passed, I kind of appreciate her music even more than what I've always liked her. But just since she's passed away, sort of appreciate it more than what I perhaps should have done, So yeah, Tina Turner. That's on Capitol Records. This one, I got this one from Reading Record Fair. It's perhaps my favourite album of all time by this band. And it came with a free 12-inch single.
Yeah, which I've got. I've shown that.
Yeah. Blue vinyl.
Yeah.
Free 12-inch single. Phantasmagoria.
Yeah.
Fantastic album. I could put this album on repeat over and over and over again.
Yeah, I saw them on that tour, Nick. They played the
Did you?
Derngate. They played the Derngate.
But me and the daughter saw them at the Ali Pally last year, and I was hoping and praying they played grimly fiendish and nasty, but alas they didn't. But yeah, brilliant album. My favourite by them. Only just though, only just. Album by some Birmingham lasses.
Oh yeah.
First box.
Yeah. Well, we've got a fuzz box and we're going to use it.
I like them.
That's a bit of an innuendo, isn't it?
Yeah. Austin, Steve Austin. Their first album. He only did 2 albums. All girl group. There was Vicky, Maggie, Joe. Maggie and Joe were sisters, and Tina. Tina was the drummer. And they were only really sort of started off as a bit of a joke band. They got asked if they were in a band and could they do a college gig, I think it was. But they had to sort of quickly learn their instruments, and they kind of learned and picked up the instruments as they went along. I thought they were quite good. There's some sort of different quirky tunes, you know, but they kind of hit the big time and tried to make it in America, and no, it kind of went downhill a bit. That's one of their tunes, Rocking with Rita. They're on the Vindaloo label, and it's the Vindaloo Summer Special.
Oh, that's good, yeah. Oh,
And
Ted Chippington is on there, yeah.
Ted Chippington,
I've seen
yeah.
Ted Chippington a few times, a very strange comedian.
Yeah, and there's another group that was on Vindaloo on here as well called the Nightingales.
Ah.
Now, when we saw the Damned at the Ali Pally, they were supported by a band called Nightingales, but they were nothing like this band. The ones that were supporting the Damned were actually bloody crap. But yeah, that's 12-inch by Fuzzbox from '86. Another one by them, '86. Love is the Slug.
Yeah, I have a 7-inch of that.
It's a good tune, actually.
Yeah.
Good tune. And this is the one that launched them in '86. The rules and regulations EP.
Yeah,
I have that.
yeah, that's
7-inch
great.
too.
Yeah, this one topped the indie charts for about a month, I think it was. And I only caught it and heard it by accident on one of these late night music TV programs here in Britain. And it's a completely homemade video by themselves using a camcorder they borrowed from the college they were all at. Good tune. There's some cracking other songs on here. There's one called XXX, Do I Want To, She, and one called R. But yeah, great EP, Buzzbox, Rules and Regulations. It's actually one-sided. One side's got like cartoon images of them sort of etched into the vinyl. And finally, I've not even shown this one yet on my own channel. So,
Oh, that's good.
That's all.
86?
Yeah, go and tell us about it. I don't know that.
I haven't heard this for donkey's years, and I've come across it on Discogs purely by chance. I thought, yeah, I've got to have it because I collect the albums anyway. I only need four more albums, and I've got the whole lot. I'm presuming this is an original, simply because I don't think reissues would have the pop-up members of the band.
That's good.
It's also if I can whip it out quick.
Lots of innuendos tonight, chaps.
Nice inside sleeve with lyrics as well, and also merch sheet.
How much
Oh.
were the t-shirts in them days?
Whoa, blimey! Black t-shirt, £7.
Rip off.
Yeah.
White t-shirt, £7.
So
Program was
definitely
£2. Set of 3 badges for £1.50 or an enamel badge for £2. Jesus Christ!
yeah. That's not a reissue with those prices.
No. You'd be paying about £30 for a tour
Yeah.
t-shirt now,
Yeah.
wouldn't you? So yeah, rear sleeve. I've
stuff.
actually played this about 2 or 3 times now. It's brilliant album. Not heard it for many years. And that is that, I'm afraid.
That's some great stuff there, as ever.
Yeah, good stuff, Nick.
Yeah, and I was hoping Elliot was going to come up because I wanted to take him to task about something he said last week.
Banjo Elliot?
Yeah. Elliot implied that if you waved a bit of fried chicken at a woman, you were in.
You couldn't get over that, could you, Nick?
It don't bloody well work. Mind you, the KFC was nice though, but the crumpet situation hasn't got any better.
I'm going to do a bit of switching around here. So, Bob on. Guess who's going to be up next?
Oh, looks right. Looks like Richie's been put in the middle. And I know he's got records.
Yeah, I was working on the car. It started raining, so I came in here and I kind of joined you guys midstream. I thought, you know what? I'm going to pull some 86 and see if I can jump on.
Yeah.
I got 5.
Fair enough. Off you go.
All right. I'll make this a quickie. The band that I have the most records of in my collection, I did a video on that last year. And the one that I have the most of is the Cramps.
Yes.
I have like 42 of their records. And this is A Date with Elvis. Came out in 86. I saw them around this time. Now, what's interesting about this, they show 4 people here, but actually there's only Poison Ivy. She does all the guitars and the bass. This gal here is actually not on the album. But yeah, this is a really good album. Now, I couldn't find. I was gonna pull the Beastie Boys' "License to Ill" because that's kind of my favorite album from '86. But maybe this one, the Butthole Surfers, Rembrandt Pussy Horse, is
Oh, that's a lovely cover, isn't it? That is brilliant.
I always call it. Yeah.
Oh, dearie me.
This is a great album. It's got it starts off with the Creep in the Cellar, and it's a really well recorded song, but really creepy. It's got the Whirling Hall of Knives instrumental that's really trippy, and they do a cover version of American Woman, that Guess Who song, and it's kind of like industrial. It's pretty different, but yeah, this is a really good album. Now, one that maybe is a little more mainstream and probably would top some people's list would be the Smiths. The Queen is Dead. I rather like this album, but the thing with the Smiths, I don't think they have a perfect album except for maybe some of their comps. I have an issue with a couple of the songs. and like the second one, frankly, Mr. Shankly, I don't think that's a good song, but some of my British friends say, "Oh no, that's a great song." You know, I guess I don't know. I don't like Cemetery Gates either, but yeah, it's a great album.
You know who Mr. Shankly was?
No, that's why I you know, it go.
Yeah.
It means nothing to me, you know. So yeah,
No,
who was he?
he was the manager of Liverpool Football Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't know that.
No,
We got Metallica, Master of Puppets, with my Walmart edition. These sound great, man. I mean, to be honest, in '86, I was not into Metallica at all. I didn't like metal. I was 100% punk. But this is a rather good album. And I'm going to end it with Sam Hain 3, November Coming Fire. This is the band that Glenn Danzig, when he quit the Misfits or broke up the Misfits, this was the band that he started. I saw the Misfits twice live, once in '82, once in '83. And I saw these guys, like, I believe it was '84, maybe '85. And these guys, I think, were better live than the Misfits were. But yeah, this is a really good album. And that's it. But I wanted to say, the one guy that showed the Pet Shop Boys, is it, what's your name? I forget. You do the stream on
bugger off.
Sundays,
You know who I am. Give over. Who are you, the waxed?
No, I'm fuck. That's an insult, dude.
That's his bloody joke. You know full well who I am, Richard.
Yeah. But for me, I like the Pet Shop Boys as soon as I heard that West End Girls, is it, or West End Boys?
Yeah,
these things.
on that. Yeah.
But I probably have about 10 or 12 of their 12-inch singles. For me, they were more of a singles band. I've never heard any of their albums, so I really don't know how they would be.
Yeah, they would be a single act for a lot of people. Yeah, because they released so much, and from sort of a period 86 to 1991, like nearly everything they did went top 10 as well. So, yeah.
Now, when you were showing
as well, so yeah, I get that.
Yeah, when you were showing your records, I typed in the comments that the most boring band I ever saw live was New Order. They were fucking. It was like staring at your wall. It was boring, man. I liked them to a point. I liked their first album and maybe their second. After that, I'm not that big of a fan. But man, they were boring live. Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Sense in the arsehole. Well, all right, yeah. Live, I think, yeah, they can be a little bit kind of dull live. Certainly back in the day, I think they've made improvements in certain areas, but I'm not going to get bogged down in an argument about it. You're entitled to your opinion.
It's all opinion. Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose I can show you some records now.
I've got one more.
Oh, you got one more? I will let you go.
Yeah, I meant to pull it out, but totally forgot.
Come on now. You're going to pull it out again?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
It's not a great album, is it, Nick?
No, it's bloody well not.
Yeah.
Nice picture.
I know it's 80s, 86, but it suffers with 80s production.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, it's
Say that in a pejorative manner. What's wrong with 80s production? Like Richard McCook, he says, "Oh, this is an alright album, but it's got 80s production on it." Like it's a negative.
The snare drum, for one.
Yeah.
You can't whack some Simmons drums and some 808. Gorgeous.
It's not what you'd expect from Blondie.
No.
Even though it's Debbie Harry. You know, it's if I'm totally honest, it's my worst purchase from last year.
Yeah.
I think I've got a rubber album. To be honest, I don't know how many solo albums she's done, but I've got a copy of Cuckoo, and that's better than this. But yeah,
Oh.
that's my worst purchase from
Hopefully, you
last
didn't
year.
spend too much.
No, it was only £5.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the first 3 Blondie albums. After that, I don't need any more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cuckoo was the first, Rockbird the second, Deaf, Dumb and Blonde, Deprivation, and Necessary Evil. She only did 5.
All right. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest.
I'm sorry, I'm having a giggle at something in chat, so I'll pop up the first part.
I mean,
that's the first. That's the first comment, and the follow up. You got it. You got it, Nick.
Oh, Samantha Fox.
Right. The follow up comment.
She certainly did.
Yeah. But, yeah, she looks mean and moody on here, but the music isn't mean and moody.
It's the best thing about the album, isn't it? The cover.
Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, Steve. I don't know what's happened with getting logged on. Did anyone else have trouble logging on to StreamYard when I put the link up?
No, it's just same as usual.
Yeah,
it just seems to be Stevie's having problems.
Stevie's having a few problems. I will look into it, Stevie. I'm sorry I can't do it at the moment, but I will look into it. So I do apologize.
I don't think it's the problem's on your end. I don't think.
Right, I'm going to show some albums now. That's all right with my guests.
Right.
Hey, as long as it's not Marillion, all right.
It's no Marillion tonight. No,
right.
well, I have shown some earlier. But
right, I'm gonna put you up, and then I'm gonna go and see if I can complete research in this problem. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Well, we're going to start off with some 1986. A little bit of Iron Maiden and Somewhere in Time, which of course is based on the cover. It's based on Blade Runner. It's got some great tracks on here. Somewhere in Time's on here. Stranger in the Strange Land. Absolute brilliant album.
Wasted Years.
Wasted Years. Yeah, I saw them on this tour as well. And they didn't record. They wanted to record a live album from it, and it's a shame they didn't. But Ron Small said, "No, we didn't one last time." But it was a great tour, great show that was. Okay, we're going to look at the Canadian band called Honeymoon Suite, and this is their album Big Prize. And there's a track on here called "All Along She Knew," and it features Mr. Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull on it. And it's a really good band, very 80s looking band. They're still going to now. They released a new album not so long ago, but I saw them when they supported Status Quo, and I've been a big fan of them ever since. Okay, my next one is, remember the other week in 84 I showed The Firm and their debut album. This was their follow-up album, Fortune Mean Business. It's got Fortune under it. To me, this is the better of the two albums. Absolutely brilliant. It's got some great tracks on here. Midnight Moonlight, Live in Peace. Really good album. Of course, it was Paul Rodgers, Jimmy Page, Chris Slade and Tony Franklin. What a great band. Showed the 12 inches tonight, but that's the album it come off. Invisible Silence, Art of Noise. Love this album. just absolutely classic. Nick showed the single, so I'm going to show the album it came off. Not particularly my favourite Genesis album, but I do like Land of Confusion and Domino, and I do like the Brazilian. The others are all right. They released too many singles off this. It's amazing when they released that in '86. Peter Gabriel releases the brilliant So. That's Sledgehammer, Red Rain, Don't Give Up, In Your Eyes. Absolutely brilliant album. One of my favourite albums by Mr. Gabriel.
You could almost say that's the best album from 1986. You know, that is a great album.
It's probably one of the best albums '86. Van Halen, David Lee Roth had left, so they brought in ex-Montrose singer Mr. Sammy Hagar, and we had 5150. Big hit on here in America. Dreams was a huge hit over there. 5150's on here. Why Can't This Be Love? I love this album. A lot of people don't like it, but I really like that album. And guess what? David Lee Roth decided to release an album the same year. His debut solo album, Even Smile. It's got Yankee Rose, Shy Boy, a great version of Tobacco Road on there. There's the back cover. And it's first time I'd heard Stevie Vai as well. Brilliant album. It's also got Billy Sheehan on it. Great album. Saw him live on the Skyscraper tour, and he was fantastic. And of course, we had a bit of Queen. The Kind of Magic album. Saw them on this tour. Really groovy cover. Kind of Magic, Prince of the Universe, Songs from the Highlander. And they did also release this at the end of the year, which is okay, but I've got fond memories of this because the picture in the middle, I'm down there somewhere. That is
there he is, just there.
Yeah, I'm somewhere down there. This was, of course, Freddie's last ever concert with Queen at Nebworth Park, 9th of August, 1986. At Nebworth Park. Look, great day. Some great bands on there. Billy Assam was on, Big Country, Status Quo, and of course Queen. Not a bad day out. A very hot day as well. Excellent. It's not a very good album because it's a single album. It was edited and it's taken from all the tour. But the best live version you get of this will be later on in another year when they release the whole of Live Magic. Yeah, that's live album. It was a rush job, Dave. Very rush job. So there we go. There's my contribution for 1986.
I've got two more 7 singles.
Oh, I better put you up then. There we go.
Gary Newman?
No,
not this one. Alexis Sale.
Oh, yeah.
big fan of Alexis Sale. One of my comedy heroes.
Yeah.
This one's called Meanwhile. And
why can't that be? I've got the 12-inch of that. Well, I didn't show that.
Apparently, and Richie might be able to shed some light on this, being of the American persuasion. Apparently, during I think it was the second Iraqi conflict, United States Air Force pilots when they were out on certain flights. I don't think it couldn't have been in a combat situation. Apparently, they were having Van Halen piped to them, and they could listen to Van Halen while they were flying along. I heard and saw it on some sort of Channel 4 documentary. But apparently that's right. They got asked, I think, what musical band they wanted, and they voted Van Halen. And in certain situations, they're having Van Halen piped to them over the radio waves, or whatever it is you want to call it. The I don't know.
Intercom.
Yeah, intercom. Yeah.
I think I would have jumped out of that helicopter.
Ian, private chat. Have a look at private chat.
But yeah.
Okay.
Lexi Sale, Van Halen from '86.
Hey.
And that's it, I promise.
Right, Steve, we might get you up. I've just got to do a bit of housework here.
Yeah, I think it's that box with the arrow on
Yeah.
that screen. I think you
Yeah,
need to
I don't know how that happened then, because I haven't been in there and touched it.
No, if you had an update or something. Here he is.
Have you sorted it?
He's there.
Hey.
Hello, Steve.
Right,
Sorry
I'm gonna
about
go one
that.
to there and one to there. And there he is.
Some setting was changed, and my easy path was obstacles were thrown in the way.
Thanks,
Technology.
Don't know
thanks to
why
my
just
technical
you.
man.
Don't know
Sorry?
why it was just you. Don't know why it was just you, Stevie. Everyone else got in.
Well,
But for some
normally
reason it was-
I click on the link and it just says, "Oh, how do you want to do it?" I click Safari, it comes up, and I'm straight in. But today it said sign in with YouTube or Facebook only, but I was signed in by YouTube. Anyway, I don't know. So
Yeah, no,
You're here now.
it
That's
was-
the main thing. You're here now. Anyway, we
I
haven't
got
spoken to you.
suspicions.
Did you go and vote on our lovely new voting system?
did I vote?
Yeah.
He was one of the first
Yeah, I
ones.
voted. Who's next? What do you think? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I voted 7 times.
No, Richie, come on.
You must have had to drive around a bit, Richie.
But at the moment, it's 11-7, not to Quadrophenia.
Yeah. I thought it might do, but at least one Who album's going to go through.
Yeah,
And I was going to say I did send you an email. I'll put this in the chat. If people want to get sort of a feel of how kind of Quadrophenia came about, I've put chapters. I've got a video in. Is that coming up? Oh God, maybe I've overstepped the mark here. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's too long. Hang on. No, carry on.
Yeah, what I'll do, I'll put that link in the description box of this stream. So if anyone wants to go and watch Stevie's fine stuff on Quadrophenia, go and have a look. I'll put the link in. He sent me the link by email, so I'll put that in the description box.
Can I vote after the stream is done, or do I have
No,
to
No, the link is live until 1 minute to midnight Wednesday night.
It should be 2 minutes to midnight.
No, 1.
Can you pin it on the community tab? Because I know Ian normally piles on about 1 million links throughout the week, so you'll never ever find it. You'll have to scroll down a mile. I don't know, or you're going to put it.
I'll put it somewhere.
You'll find it underneath in the description of the live stream, in the description of the promo that he does on a Thursday for each tie. It's on there. It's on the community, and it's at the top of the chat on YouTube.
So basically, if you can't find it, you're blind.
Yes.
Well, I'm not blind, but I am a dumbass.
Which is discriminatory towards blind people. But there we are. Can you put it up in Braille?
Not without getting a hammer, chisel, and a rock.
Can I show some records for 2 seconds? I'll have to do
now are we going to hold you for 2 seconds?
All right, so you've missed this classic. The Queen is dead, and
it got a mention.
Oh, did it?
Did
anybody show the inner sleeve?
No, they didn't. So there we go.
Classic. I knew somebody who showed. I've got this Jimmy, I think, show. I've only got the 12-inch Open Your Heart.
And True Blue, the album.
You've shown the small.
Hey,
Hey.
And I don't know why I've got a French pressing which is slightly different with a different text, but there we are. Pretty in Pink, Midnight to Midnight featured on Psychedelic Furs. So that's that. Did anybody do Riptide, Robert Palmer?
It got mentioned in
Addicted
an
to Love.
add-on, but
I didn't mean to turn you on. I think you've just signed this one, haven't you? So, like Peter Gabriel, nice copy. Good comp from The Police, Every Breath You Take. So it's got all their singles, a few of their singles, not all of their singles, but a few of their singles. This is supposed to be a collector's item cover for the Infected. So that it's, I think it's called, what is it, limited edition Torture Sleeve, including free poster. So it's supposed to be quite collectible, but I don't know if it actually is. But that's a good contender for Albert. Is anybody showing this?
no, and Mick was saying that it hasn't been shown. So
it hasn't been shown. Well, Mick, it has now. So there you are.
Yeah.
Talk. Absolutely fabulous album. This album hasn't been shown, and this was reissued. It was released in '86, but this is on Record Store Day 2022. So this is The Sound, Counting the Days. This is a very underrated British band. So this is the reissue on clear vinyl, which I got in Record Store Day. Didn't actually cost me anything, but that's another story. So check out The Sound. Very underrated band. I didn't have, was it Susie? Did you say Susie Tinderbox, Mike?
No, I've only got it on CD, and I'm waiting to find an original. Yeah,
I haven't got it either, but I have got a 12-inch of Candyman. So there's Lullaby and Umbrella. So that's Susie and the Banshees Candyman 12-inch. Cocteau Twins. Did you say any Cocteau? You showed Victoria Land. Did I hear you say Victoria?
I showed Victoria Land. Yeah,
I haven't got Victoria Land, but have you got this? This is Cocteau Twins. This is the Moon and the Melodies, but it's not officially Cocteau Twins. It's 4D, so it's Cocteau Twins and Harold Budd, I think, who's an ex-band member. Yeah, so
I've not seen that before, Stevie.
Have you not? This is a very well-known, sort of 4AD Cocteau Twins canon.
I'm pretty certain I haven't seen it. I don't know why.
No, Sea Swallow Me. It's a lovely track.
Yeah.
On that. So finish with the best. Jimmy, did you show?
I showed the Hessian cassette box set. Yes.
This was supposed to be at the time. I think it was like a myth, some Soviet missile thing, but it's actually a sheet of titanium steel apparently that Peter Saville. Yeah. So that's Brotherhood. So it's not a nuclear missile apparently. So we've got Shell Shock, a couple of 12 inches. Do you know what the B-side of this is?
Shell Cock.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but there we are. Okay, cover recognition for Jimmy. OG 12-inch.
Lovely.
Do you know what it is?
It looks like Bizarre Love. Oh no, it's State of the Nation. Sorry.
Yeah, State.
Very similar sleeves, aren't they?
State of the Nation and Shame of the Nation. Okay, quick recognition.
Yeah, that's definitely Bizarre Love Triangle. Yeah, it's more pink, isn't it? Yeah.
Very rare as hen's teeth, and I'll just finish off. Also, 86, of course, was the Order Peel Sessions.
Oh yes.
So there we are. That's my 86. So sorry for being late.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Yes.
No, that's all right. Yeah. Did everything go according to plan?
On what side?
Yeah, earlier on.
Oh yes,
what you had to do. We just want to make sure.
No, it's all right. I had to give somebody a lift to the hospital. That's all. So
You know those Pill Session albums? I remember seeing those in the record stores in probably the later '80s, and I just passed them all by. And man, every one I've ever heard they're great.
Yeah,
they are, aren't they? Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic.
Sound. They've got such a different quality to them, aren't they? I love them.
Yeah, I really like them.
Yeah, but I mean they're really well recorded, aren't they? I mean most of them are from sort of Maida Vale B, aren't they, in the BBC? Yeah, Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of them. I mean, I don't know how
Yeah.
many there are, but there's probably close to 100.
Yeah, there's something about them Peel albums. It's what it's all about. Rawness.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
It's
very well
shallow.
recorded. No, I think. Did I see Mike? Did you? Did you?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes. I
you're-
was.
so you're
I was trying to convey that I was undecided, Stevie.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, as I said, I put a link in the chat a while back, and if you go to like the 5th chapter, because I put my own chapters on my own version of the video, where he says I had a flashback and I grabbed a notebook, and it's very interesting just to hear how the story of Quadrophenia came about. After the Who's Next, which was a failed project essentially. So I just wanted to make the point that I don't think people realise that these are tracks that are salvaged from the Lifehouse project, and so it should have been another rock opera it should have been a double LP. And if you look online, you can get the desired track listing, but I don't know if people actually realise what the desired track listing was originally for that, and that's why where in Quadrophenia it all comes together and he gets it right in the double LP with something achievable and something very good. But anyway.
Yeah. I actually watched the movie about 2 weeks ago.
Oh right, the Quadrophenia.
Yeah. First time I watched it for a long time.
I saw it about 3 weeks ago, and that was the first time I'd ever seen it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you think? What did you think, Jimmy?
I thought it was very good. I don't think it warrants the hype. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's one of the best British films of all time." I don't think it's that good.
No.
No.
I just got I got distracted by the eyeliner Phil Daniels were wearing at the end. It took me out. You know what I mean?
There is a couple of documentaries online. One of them about where they felt that they had to put music of the time in it. So for me, it didn't really work for a long time. But as an attempt to try to capture the film, I think it's a very good attempt. But it's not true. It's not true to the album. I think that's my problem with it.
Yeah, but I mean, what I really enjoyed when I was sort of rewatching it's lots of really well-known names in that film. When they were very, very young.
Yeah.
And
Phil Daniels didn't really have a good trajectory after that, really.
No.
If you look at his acting career after that, it's kind of like that was sort of the peak. And that was,
Yeah. I think it's a decent film.
Yeah, it's a decent film, but it's not as good as the film it could have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you made a film absolutely true to this, yes, you'd have music from the time, but you'd have it in the correct order, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's usually the case, though, isn't it? I mean, if you read a book, and then you see the film of the book, the film is seldom as good as the book.
It was a good stab at it, I think, but it kind of detracts from, because people think like the album of the film is the Quadrophenia album, which is as far away from the truth as possible. Anyway, sorry, rabbiting on.
No, it's about a valid point. I mean, as Mike says, there's not many. I mean, you take James Bond, none of them are based on the book. The one that is the Daniel Craig's Casino Royale. That's the only Bond film I know that really sticks near enough to the.
You do make.
To be fair to, is it your other contestant Mick? Has he said anything in support of Who's Next?
No, he can't. He's in California. He's working.
All right,
it's the working day for him.
Did he send a paragraph over?
He put a paragraph. I've seen he's put something. Yeah.
Yeah, he usually does. Yes, Nick. Sorry, you were trying to ask something, Nick.
No, I found another 12-inch single and an album.
Oh, right.
Okay. Off you go.
Oh God, that's
brushstrokes.
That is going back.
Awful.
Going back.
What are you on, man?
That is not really the worst Dexys Midnight Runners song. That's one of the worst sitcom themes ever. And I've seen a lot of sitcoms.
It's not a great sitcom, is it? Yeah.
All they do is sit on a plank.
That's like something Michael would share.
I guarantee this will be the last one from me.
We've heard that before.
That's the rear of the sleeve. Any idea who the band is? Does it say? Can you read it? Well, it's their second album. It's King Kurt.
King Kurt. God, I haven't heard that name for years.
You know what he's telling in the thumbnail tonight.
Yeah.
The puns are coming out tonight.
That's 2 records with the C word in it.
Yes, it's terrible tonight. It's been a bit carry on.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's been very carry on tonight, hasn't it? All the double entendres.
Unless you want me to go and find a Gary Newman record.
Not another C one, no.
Anyway, they'll get my thing. Nice one, Jason. I'll tell you
Well,
what, Jimmy, your partner in
take
crime
off.
is on form tonight.
Oh, hang on.
I'm gonna take off and go vote for Who's Next.
No.
Whoa.
Never speak to you again.
Lovely to see you, Richard.
See you, Richard.
Cheers, Richard.
Thank God he's gone.
Yeah.
Well,
I really am undecided today, Stevie.
I have
really am.
You should vote Quadrophenia because I think the American market, Who's Next is much more recognisable to them. I think. Because CSI and Miami Vice, and they just know Who's Next a lot more, and I just don't think culturally wise it's a lot more difficult for them to get into Quadrophenia. I mean, a fun fact I heard last week when I was doing about the cover and the photographer, what's his name, he actually had to have an assistant, I forget who it was, assigned to him because he didn't really understand what the mod culture was as well. So he had to sort of have it explained to him. And this other chap went round with him, the photographer, to make sure he had a good idea of what it was about, So he had to, because he said he started off thinking it was all sort of like, frilly shirts and that sort of thing in the mod movie.
Oh dear, yeah.
So in order to take photographs of it, he had to understand what it was all about. So he had to have somebody assigned to him to sort of explain it as they went around.
Yeah, the one thing I really think, thinking about the film, and maybe it's partly because of the way I think about Sting anyway, but rather than being this sort of character that is sort of revered by the sort of mods, I'm sure they would say, who's that wanker?
Yeah.
He just sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't he?
He's a bit overdone in the film.
It's over the top, and I don't think they quite need to do that, to get in the whole sort of bellboy thing.
No.
Yeah.
And the film had Leslie Ash in it, so that was when she looked rather delightful.
That's right. Yeah, Leslie Ash. Yeah.
He wasn't the original choice, was he? Sting. I'm sure it was Jimmy Percy.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think I read that somewhere, Nick.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, Jimmy Percy. Yeah.
Was John Lydon as well? He there's photographs of him, I think, sort of, because he was in the running at one point, which would have been even a bit stranger, So.
Yeah. Oh.
See, for me, I think it would have been a much closer thing had that been a double LP, sort of like Who's Next Lifehouse, that for me that would equate, because if you say, you know, not trying to obviously do Who's Next down, but if you follow the original story of Lifehouse, if you said to people, okay, side 1 is Ray's story, side 2 is Mary and Jumbo's story, because I think Mary is the daughter that runs away, and then Bobby's story, the hacker, and then at the end it's the Lifehouse concert. People wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about unless they were familiar with the Lifehouse project and why that should be a double album. But then you've just got the track salvaged off it, and you've got My Wife from Entwistle, which is a fine track. So it is absolutely blazing, you know, stonking killer songs, but it doesn't make any sense in the context of the Lifehouse project or the Lifehouse rock opera that should have been a double album. Had it been that, I think you'd have a tough time sort of deciding between the two, you know.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, to tell you the truth, I didn't realise that, you know, that Who's Next was meant to be a concept album originally. I knew nothing about Lifehouse until, you know, all the... you know,
I mean, it is a tough one, because I really don't think you would have Quadrophenia if you hadn't had Who's Next, because the timeline is you've got this amazing success with Tommy, so this is like a rock opera that sort of goes viral, sells a ton of records, and they have to tour with it forever. And then Who's Next starts as the Lifehouse project, which is so ambitious he nearly has a nervous breakdown. You know, it's too ambitious and he can't fulfill what he's trying to. But he's sort of, I don't know how to put it. He's like focusing outwards on so many ideas and trying to involve sort of the audience with the construction of the project, as it were, and then learning all those lessons and it all going wrong. He's actually getting all those lessons right when it comes to Quadrophenia. So it is almost like, you know, a part 1, part 2, part 3 rock opera series of projects, you know. So I really don't think Quadrophenia would have been anything like the success had he not failed so much in, you know, Lifehouse.
While he was writing that, Roger was making an album, John was making an album, Keith was being an actor in That'll Be the Day. So it may have, you know, I think there was a lot of pressure on, and you know, with them going off doing anything, Pete could actually sit down and write something. I mean, they say it was Kit Lambert that wasn't keen on the Lighthouse.
Yeah, well, they kind of stepped in to salvage the tracks for a record. So we've got to have a record from this, you know. And I think Pete was sort of more or less having a nervous breakdown or close to a nervous breakdown. Total exhaustion. I mean, the irony is that they were still playing Tommy, and even when they launched, it was almost like Quadrophenia was ahead of its time, in that even after that, they were touring and still touring mostly with Tommy as well, you know, because this was supposed to be a touring vehicle that replaced Tommy. But if you want, I'll put the link to because that documentary is such an excellent documentary. If you're interested, I'll put the link in again.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of explains all that. So all those pieces come together. Whereas the documentary on Who's Next is more about how they go about it and songs, etc. It doesn't really go into how they fail totally with the Lifehouse project for me. Anyway, sorry, rambling on.
This is really interesting, Stevie. Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing to do with today's competition. It's worth a watch anyway. It is fascinating what Stevie's done. It's a really good watch. It's as good as any documentary I've seen. He did a great job on that. So go and watch it. We'll put the link we'll put the link in the bottom of on the description of the live stream. So you go and watch it, guys. Not if it doesn't affect your vote.
You don't necessarily have to watch it on my stream, on my channel. But I put the chapters in where I thought they were kind of appropriate. So you've got my chapters. If you're in any doubt about how good this is, I made shorts from little snippet shorts from the documentary, and one of them's just gone absolutely ballistic now. It's like over 100,000 views. So that's how catchy it is, you know.
Yeah.
Not blowing my own trumpet, but
that's fantastic.
No, it's really interesting stuff. But I mean, I think looking at the two albums as they sort of turned out, Who's Next and Quadrophenia, I think, you know, Who's Next is an album that it's far easier to sort of be familiar with, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas Quadrophenia, you have to really get into it, and sort of,
and
other than 515, there's not really a hit on it, is there?
It's one album you've really got to listen to all the way through, and you can only do that like once every 3 months or even once every 6 months and really get the benefit. In fact, it's like too much of an investment in your time and energy for most people. But once you've made that investment, you realize how much. I mean, for me, it all boils down to, you know, these are salvaged from an overambitious project, and this is where he gets everything right. You know, in a much more reasonable, sort of more internal, inwardly looking. This is where the Who connect with their audience rather than this was trying to, you know, with these spiritual teachings trying to connect. But actually, I mean, I would urge people to even just look at the Wikipedia page of Lifehouse Rock Opera, because it shows you. That's what I'm looking at right now. The intended track listing, and that's the double LP. You know, it should have had things like Time Is Passing, Too Much of Anything, Greyhound Girl, Mary, and the central track is Pure and Easy, and Let's See Action is even on it, you know, and of course I love the demos of all of that because you really see how he's trying to construct something, and the story is way ahead of its time because it's like virtual reality. Everybody's in an experience suit before the internet was even, you know, invented. So, and there's a hacker that hacks into that and says, "Oh, let's all go with this old rock and roll to free everybody." And they have this big concert at the end of it. That's basically what the story is. And this girl runs away from her farm, her parents. You know, it's quite fascinating. I find the Lifehouse sort of thing quite fascinating, really. And if you go on, I think it's PeteTownsend.net, he explains it, and there's a whole bunch of interviews where he explains about the Lifehouse project. So, you know, vote for whatever you like, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's great if you, on behalf of Mick, to actually.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's because I really do think you would never have had Quadrophenia as such a success if he hadn't have gone through the Lifehouse project, which gave rise to Who's Next.
You're saying about listening to it. When I used to go on holiday, I'd either listen to it on the plane, on the long haul, or when you used to have, you know, you have beach days. First record I'd put on my iPod would be Quadrophenia, because you can lay there in the sun and just listen, and then you can really get. I think that everyone has got to do that at least once. Listen to it under the headphones with no distractions to get into the story.
And it's an interesting point as well, in that whereas Who's Next is quite restrained and Keith Moon is quite restrained, it actually says in the documentary, I wrote this because I wanted to just let them run riot and unleash them. So it's just got some of the best bass playing and the best the drums just flow all over the whole thing. You know, I think it's Keith Moon's best drumming on an album by a country mile for me.
Yeah, I think I said that when I ranked the Who albums. I think it's the best drumming that Keith ever did was on.
Yeah. And of course the best vocal as well in Love Reign Over Me, one of the best vocal performances in rock and roll ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know.
Are you reading the comments, Stevie?
Anyway, it's gonna.
Thank God, Mike.
That Stevie, you couldn't get up with all the technical.
Sorry, yeah.
There's some great you got up here. So it's time to show an album.
Oh, hang on.
It's time for Stevie to show Quadrophenia, no doubt.
Well,
but I'm not going to show an album tonight. If I can find it amongst all this.
Oh, do it yourself.
Yeah, I'll show Quadrophenia bollocks to it.
I know what one I want to show, but I can't get my hands on it.
I'll show the scooter.
Hey, I'm going to show that.
That'll intrigue people.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah, sorry I was late, folks.
That's all
No,
right.
not a problem. Not a problem. Well
And, it's
done.
just, and just again, thank you for not just promoting your own album tonight, but
Yes.
for promoting both. I mean,
Well, at least who's going through? So
yeah.
Hey.
Anyway, go and check out the new voting. It's all there. You'll find it in the little caption in the community. So once again, thank you to Mike, Jimmy, Nick's Bottom, and Vinyl Richie for popping in as well. And we'll see you all next week. So, bye, folks.
Sayonara.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
bye.
See you later.